strong earthquake hit Turkey, and Tzu Chi has been the first NGO to be permitted to enter the disaster area. In China, a recycling volunteer's health issue has miraculously cured after she started doing recycling. Selamat datang ke Daya Headline, saya Simon Gan. Terima kasih menyertai sesi berita kita. A strong earthquake has devastated parts of Turkey, and Izmir is one of the hardest hit areas. She has been the first charity organization who is permitted by the government to enter the disaster area. The four-man disaster assessment team has reached the disaster area to understand the affected residents' needs. Tzu Chi disaster assessment team is taking off from Istanbul, heading to the disaster area. Currently, the weather is not good, but we are eager to be with the affected residents. After a 5-hour ride, our team of 4 will reach Izmir. This is the hardest hit area after the earthquake. Behind me, you can see how the earthquake devastated Izmir. You can see excavators and other large machineries. Many rescuers are still searching for earthquake survivors underneath the rubble.
My 2 daughters' houses have collapsed. My home has collapsed too. All the valuables are in there, but we cannot go into the house. We can only watch them from here. We are being settled in the tent area by the government.
When the earthquake struck Turkey 21 years ago, I was one of the officials in charge of disaster relief. This time, we are not seeing chaos like last time. Now the rescue work has been completed, disaster coordinator has said that there is no need for outside assistance. The government has arranged for supplies and settlement. In the future, maybe Tzu Chi can help house renters or impoverished families.
Orada ihtiyaçlara göre belki yardım edebilir diye biz çalışmalarımızı
In Bangkok, Thailand, a Tzu Chi recipient's 2-story wooden house is dilapidated and it leaks whenever it rains. He has suffered a stroke, and due to the pandemic, he also faces financial difficulties. A community management committee referred his case to Tzu Chi volunteers who renovated his house for him.
The wooden house is more than 50 years old. The solitary man who suffered a stroke feels helpless.
Whether the rain is heavy or small, it leaks inside. Although it is a 2-story house, the second floor is not habitable. Part of the roof has been flipped open.
Thailand's volunteers renovate a house, turning the 2-story house into a 1-story one with lighting and ventilation. They have also built a restroom.
I feel at ease as the house no longer leaks. Thanks to everyone's help, I'm able to have a new house.
I'm very happy to have the opportunity to help community residents. Seeing how happy he is, I feel deeply touched as well.
Mr. Lam is learning to do rehabilitation. He's no longer afraid of taking care of himself.
Since August, Xiamen Tzu Chi volunteers have partnered with the Bureau of Education, local schools, and the community to make a list of students who are in need of financial assistance. 106 students were identified, and volunteers made house visitations to further understand their conditions. With 2 elderly people to take care of and 3 children to raise, Chen Zhitao's mother is working hard to take care of the family.
Chen Zhitao's mother has shouldered the burden for the family because the father suffers from mental illness and is unable to work. We hope to provide the family some love from Tzu Chi and brighten up their lives.
Volunteers hold tightly onto the mother's hands and also share some Jingzi aphorisms with the family for emotional support.
Use a sincere and respectful heart to face tasks and people each day. This is to teach us to respect others and don't complain about the faults of another. If you have a heart of gratitude, then blessings and fortune will come your way.
They also visit Gao Yuling, who is in the 8th grade. Her biological mother and stepmother passed away. Her father is not at home. Gao helps her grandmother with household chores.
Wow, you cook. She probably does household chores too.
The children don't only just need material aid or financial aid. What they need most is the emotional support, the love and care of society.
With words of wisdom helping to heal the soul and the love and care of Tzu Chi, these families will sure feel blessed in the coming days ahead. In Hualien, Chen Xiuqing had to raise 2 of her children on her own after her divorce. Later on, she was diagnosed of leukemia, which makes things even more challenging. Thankfully, a match was found for her. She received a stem cell transplant 4 months later, and her health returned. Her personality has also turned for the better. Let's take a look at her story.
从大2的时候，大概民国93年。
I played from my second year of college till now. It's been about 16 years. Through competition, I realized I can challenge myself in different aspects of my life.
I didn't as much before, but now after my transplant, I like walking for exercise.
Chen Xiuqing is in Hualien while Jiang Zhongho is in Taichung. The 2 strangers live on opposite sides of the island, but have a strong connection with one another.
When the doctor drew my blood, they informed me right away there was leukemia. I thought my world was going to fall apart.
Without any prior symptoms, Chen's acute myeloid leukemia hit her hard.
I've always thought that it might have been I was wasting my life previously, so the cancer cells got angry and wanted to teach me a lesson.
After her divorce, Chen was diagnosed, and she was afraid her life with her kids was going to end soon.
I was worried because my children were small, and if I left, what would happen to them? I wanted to say sorry to them. I can't be there to see them grow up.
Thankfully, Chen was able to find a match, and she received a transplant surgery. Surprisingly, her depressive personality took a turn.
I feel more positive and less selfish. I can see the bigger picture of things and often count my blessings.
They have told me that after the transplant surgery, the recipient might be influenced by my personality. I don't think I have a bad personality, so it shouldn't be harmful to her.
Jiang Zhonghong is by nature happy-go-lucky and straightforward. He's currently a tutor, and his decision to register as a donor came from his mom, who is a Tzu Chi volunteer.
I was so happy. I told him, congratulations that you won this opportunity to save a life. I encouraged him to quickly contact them. He wasn't opposed to it and quickly agreed.
I thought it was pretty special and felt very lucky to be paired, as I know the percentage of it happening is very low.
On top of this surprising match, other good news came their way.
Then I was blessed with a baby. It was the greatest gift to be given to us.
Marriage and a baby, Jiang's life is fulfilled.
Besides my family, it's like I have a strong connection with someone else.
I feel like I must have a sibling connection with the donor from my past life because my sister wasn't a match with me, but the donor was a match.
And just like that, they have formed a strong affinity with one another.
I've received another chance at life, so no matter what I'm doing in life, I do it with joy in my heart and face it positively.
At the Huashan recycling station in Fujian, China, recycling volunteer Zhang Liyi suffered from skin rashes in the past. She sought medicine everywhere, but it was never cured. After carrying out recycling work at the station, her skin rashes had miraculously disappeared, and her temper has also become much better. Here's more.
Although having trouble moving, Jiang Li insists on recycling at home as her door front becomes a recycling point. Jiang Li told us that in the past she had skin rashes, but after doing recycling, she was cured without medicine.
If you stay at home and think all day, my feet itches the entire time. I won't be optimistic at home, so I go to the recycling station with others.
Perhaps recycling is a spiritual cure. For 6 years, Jiang Li's mental health improved daily. Her daughter's clothing store became a recycling field as the out-of-season clothes are donated. She also insists on buying clothes that she likes.
I'm picking some clothes for my grandson. It's like brand new. It even has an emblem here.
Coming to the recycling station, Jiang Li became a better person. In the past, she had a strong personality, but now she is always smiling.
After going to the recycling station, she had a better temper. Last time, she has a bad temper. She won't listen to anyone and gets angry fast.
The persistency of Jiang Li on the path of recycling has led her to find value and meaning in her life during old age.
Tzu Chi's recycling station in Xizhi is located in the industrial zone. Many companies and factories accumulate PE blocks, PE plastic bags and packaging bands every day. Not wanting to pollute the environment, they work with a recyclable processing company to turn these items into plastic pallets, which can then be made into plastic bags.
This is a PE, films in the paper boxes. It protects the machines and electronic components. They are very light. They weigh less than 2 kilograms. They are very light.
With the big volume, the weight of the PE blocks are very light. After opening up the boxes, they become useless. They're not stinky, but they take up space. Recycling volunteers have found a new place for them.
We have to recycle PE blocks, as other companies do not collect them. Since they take up space, companies do not take them. After collecting them, we cut them up before storing them in bags.
There are red, black, and white ones. They can be made into plastic bags, turning useless into useful.
In Xizhi Industrial Zone, to process plastics collected from factories, companies, stores, or residential buildings, one must pay a fee. Tzu Chi's recycling station in Xizhi carries out this mission, safeguarding the earth.
Seeing so many items, if we do not recycle them, I cannot fall asleep at night.
Recyclable processing factory owner Zheng Jinglong has dispatched a truck from Shuling to Xizhi to extend the life of the items.
How much can these recyclables sell for? Really, if you do not care about the environment, enterprises who do this are losing money. If they end up in the incinerator, 1 kilogram of the item sells for 8 NT dollars. In fact, I lose money, but I think it's alright. We try to do as much as we can. I treat people at Tzu Chi as my own family.
The recyclables at the factory are being crushed, melted, and cooled down before being cut into plastic pellets. They'll be delivered to a plastic making factory.
20 years ago, the Daling recycling station was established. Volunteers moved the prefab houses that were used after the 9/21 earthquake so that recycling volunteers have a shelter while carrying out recycling work. As there are many construction sites and schools nearby, the recycling station collects over 30,000 PET bottles every month. Here's more. The semi-open air recycling station is made up from tents, iron sheet, and prefab housing. This is also the place where many gather together to protect our beloved Earth.
Regardless of sorting the tin aluminum cans in the front or sorting the papers at the back, everyone just keep on sorting without differentiating the work. Although it is a little bit hard in the summer, but everyone always has a smile on their faces as they're happy sorting these recyclable items. Back then, there's no recycling station in this area, so we borrowed a piece of land from the hospital and brought over the prefab houses over here. In 2000, the Daling Tzu Chi Hospital was inaugurated. On the same piece of land, the Daling recycling station was also established. The prefab houses which accompanied the 9/21 earthquake survivors have fulfilled their duties and were moved to the recycling station to provide shelter for the recycling volunteers. It's a waste to throw all the recyclable items as trash. We then took out these items and started to sort them out. At the same time, there are also recyclables from the hospital. So we collected the recyclable items from the nearby communities and sorted them out. Everyone was very young back then and were also very grateful. A recycling volunteer, Lai Jingchao, who is over 80 years old, has been doing recycling for a third of her lifetime. Her house is also a recycling point and is a fixed spot where the Daling recycling trucks collect the recyclables weekly. I treat it as an exercise and collecting the recyclables at the same time. I'm old now and I can't sleep in the morning. I wake up at around 4 to 5 o'clock in the morning. When I head out around 5 in the morning, the sun is already up, so I'll collect some recyclables. The recycling truck will have a fixed time to collect the recyclables in the nearby community. Underneath the big tree is where the nearby factories place their unwanted resources. Volunteers have quick hands as they pick the recyclable resources and then head over to the hospital's hostel. Every trip, the truck will be filled with recyclables. Around 50 to 60 volunteers are here every week to sort the recyclables. The recycling station collects over 30,000 PET bottles every month, with most of the bottles coming from schools and construction sites. To save time and energy, there is a special treasure in the recycling station. With the help of technology and a heart dedicated in protecting the earth, the Daling recycling station has been doing recycling work for 20 years now. No matter it's rain or shine, there's this group of volunteers who continues to contribute themselves in protecting the environment.
The master said that Tzu Chi missions cannot be done by one person. In the recycling mission, we need to invite more bodhisattvas to join in the work of sorting these recyclable items. 30 years ago, these group of bodhisattvas had paved their way for us. Now, what we need to do is to inspire the younger generations to continue this work of environmental protection.
Recycling can build up affinities between people. Everyone has the same job to carry out together. It's just like a gathering doing the same thing. Tzu Chi was established just like that.
People living in the modern age are bothered and controlled by electronics. Artist Zheng Xianyu shows care about humans and objects by demonstrating artworks such as a dream detector, a crying robot, and a phone kidnapping device. These artworks lead the audience to further reflect a life controlled by electronics and to show his personal experience.
I will feel scared because when people send me messages, I won't be able to receive it. I cannot notice it.
I think I might get lost because now when I go out, I take my phone with me.
I might be unable to live properly because look at me, my phone is hanging on my neck. Everything is recorded into my phone.
The modern being uses the phone often, but can you imagine a world without phones? This special device automatically closes once the phone is put in.
它会自动关闭。
After 20 minutes to an hour, you may retrieve your phone back.
拿回你心爱的手机。
This particular artwork is called Discharge What You Charged, forcing the viewer to reflect on themselves while losing their mobile device. Think about how humans are controlled by phones and live passively.
我最大的目的只是想要提供一个
My biggest goal is to provide a situation to let people stay away from phones. The phones they pay so much attention to daily or objects, now I focus on phones.
然后现在就是手机嘛。
In modern times, people are used to recording daily events with their phones, therefore memorizing part of the information. Zheng Xianyu tries to draw his dreams through recording, as science discovered that the human eyeball rolls while dreaming. This is because while a scene changes in one's dream, the eyes follow, just like when one is awake. Zheng Xianyu spent several months to record vocabularies he thought of during the day. These nouns are then sent to a software to find images, crafting a database. At night, he wears a device to record brainwaves. When the eyeball goes through rapid movement, the device will record the content and find the corresponding vocabulary through a trained AI, putting the data of the morning period and nighttime together.
在做这作品的时候，我刚好一顶帽子掉在。
When I was producing this work, I had left the hat on Uber, so I kept on contacting the driver, but I couldn't find the item at last. But I was working on this while this happened, and one day the robot found these words for me. This might be that while I was dreaming, I thought of this event. My dreams are only for reference, so you must imagine for yourselves. I just thought it would be interesting to share my dreams, so I used the software with simple functions to produce words for dreams.
软体有一个简单的能力是帮我们想象一个梦境。
Thinking about how AI and robots define emotions, Zheng Xianyu gave robot emotions. This robot, when there are people walking by, will have emotions, but when there is no one present, it looks down and cries.
很多人他强烈的情绪可能是。
For example, many people have strong emotions but will not show that side to others. He might hide those emotions behind or other possibilities or maybe more complicated emotions.
流眼泪的部分是一颗继电器，然后就一个拼角要它卡。
On the topic of robots crying, the program is connected to a potentiometer circuit. The pin of it would activate the motor. The motor will then release the water through the circuits, performing a series of actions.
它会跑到这一个回圈里面，然后去执行它该做的动作，这样。
Modern society is already fully occupied by technology. When we enjoy the benefits of technology, we might have trapped ourselves in emotions of anxiety and feeling unsafe. Gladly, these artistic creations allow us to reflect upon ourselves, on how we should live under society filled with technology.
In New Taipei City, 200 Tzu Chi volunteers and honorary board members head to Jingsan to clean up the beach. The youngest volunteer is 5 years old, while the oldest volunteer is 90 years old. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you and goodbye.